about is using your diaphragm and then also controlling your breath, not only for the stress reduction point of it and kind of the meditation mindfulness piece of it, but also for swimming. So I'm going to talk through both of those while we go through this. But the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to find a quiet place, find somewhere that you can lay on your back, and we're just going to sit or lay on our back with our knees bent. And what we want to do is, first and foremost, we want to just kind of settle into this position. We want to be as comfortable as we can be. We're taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out, just kind of nice and easy. For a lot of us, this is something that's very uncomfortable because we don't spend a lot of time in quiet. We don't spend a lot of time just focusing on what we're doing in relationship to our breathing. And so the first 30 seconds to a minute, we're just going to relax. And the other thing that I want you to pay attention to is, where is your breath coming in and where is your breath going out? Not just in relationship to whether it's coming in your mouth or in your nose, but also, is it coming into your shoulders or is it coming into your abdomen? So as you can see, if I put one hand on top of my stomach right below where my sternum is and the other hand on my shoulder, I should have my left hand, my bottom hand, it should be coming up, and my right hand should be staying relatively quiet. And again, what we're doing right now is we're not really focusing on anything but just what are we doing? Is our breath coming in through our nose, in through our mouth, out through our nose, out through our mouth? Is it coming into our shoulders? Is it coming into our abdomen? So what we're going to start now is what's referred to as box breathing. So we're going to do a couple different drills, and I'm going to kind of talk you through this. I'm going to try to demonstrate as much as I can, but also with talking, it's a little bit more difficult and challenging to go through breathing while talking. So again, the first thing that we're paying attention to is we're going to try to change, if you were breathing into your shoulders and through your mouth, we want you to try to change to in through your nose, out through your mouth, and we really want to focus on getting that bottom hand to be the one who primarily moves. So breathe in and breathe out. Nice and easy. And for a lot of us, because we're not very strong in our diaphragm, it can actually be challenging just to breathe that way, and you can actually start to feel breathless when you're doing that. And when you start to think about breathing in appropriately for whatever activity you're doing, whether it's breathing in on a bike, breathing in while you're running, breathing while you're swimming, breathing while you're lifting weights, again, if we don't have good breath control, we're going to have a really, really hard time actually stabilizing with our core, and we're also going to have a hard time getting enough oxygen through the rest of our body. So again, try to breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth. We're not paying attention to how long we're doing that. It's just as comfortable. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to start to try to give ourselves a little bit more rhythm. So again, with different activities, when you think about things like swimming, you have a natural rhythm that you swim. So it's reaching with one arm and pulling with the other, reaching with the other arm, pulling with the other. And depending on how often you breathe, if you don't have enough breath support to hold your breath for that amount of time or to support your breath for that amount of time, that's where a lot of people struggle with figuring out how to maintain breath the entire length of the pool, or they feel like they're out of breath, or they don't feel like they can breathe every other stroke, they don't feel like they can breathe every third stroke, whatever that looks like. So again, we're just focusing on breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth. And now I want you to take a deep breath in and breathe out. And we're going to focus on trying to match the length of time that you're breathing in and breathing out. So the easiest way to do that is to breathe in and count to 1, 2, and breathe out. 1, 2. Breathe in, 1, 2, breathe out, 1, 2. So ultimately, it's probably about a 1, 2, 3, 4 count, very, very quick. If we're doing full seconds, it's a breathe in, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, out, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, in, Mississippi, out, 2, Mississippi. Breathe in, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, out, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi. So again, we're going to do that for about a minute. We're just going to focus on breathing in, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, out, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, in, Mississippi, out, 2, Mississippi, out, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi. And I want you to continue that for about a minute. So again, when we're looking at things like swimming, if we're not breathing in and breathing out rhythmically, again, a lot of us will have the hard time of, we'll try to take a quick breath in and we'll hold our breath until we try to breathe out right when our head comes out of the water, and then we'll take another deep breath. And again, that's going to cause a lot of breathlessness. So focusing on that 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, out Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, in Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, out Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So now we're going to start to challenge ourselves a little bit more. And if you've started to find where your diaphragm is, you don't have to have that one hand on your shoulder. You can take both hands on your diaphragm. And now instead of 2 count, we're going to do a 3 count for both of those. So we're going to breathe in Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, out Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. In Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, out Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So as we're getting more and more comfortable with that, then we can, again, start to go through this process of rhythmically breathing. So the same amount of time that we're spending breathing in as we're breathing out. So again, spend about 30 seconds to a minute really focusing on breathing in through your nose for a 3 count and breathing out through your mouth for a 3 count. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. So again, we're going to challenge ourselves, and we're going to try to breathe in for a 4 count and out for a 4 count. So we're going to breathe in, Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, out Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. So breathe in and breathe out. And with this, I want you to really focus on, instead of having a quick breathe in and then slowing it down, I want you to have a nice even breath, because we're controlling our diaphragm, we're controlling our breath, and we're breathing out controlled through that whole 4 count. We're not and then trying to like slow down our breath. So it's even through the breath in and even through the breath out. Even through the breath in and even through the breath out. So again, I want you to take about a minute to really focus on in for a 4 count, out for a 4 count. And again, continue that as long as you are comfortable. So again, this is not just for improving your breath with swimming, cycling, running, other activity, but it's also a good way to start to control your breath, to start to get away from kind of that fight or flight mentality back into the more parasympathetic breathing. So it's more of a rhythm and more of a natural response as opposed to such a tense response to breathing. So in for a 4 count and out for a 4 count. So again, you can continue this, but I want to start to introduce other aspects of this as well. So now we're going to go back to a 2 count. We're going to breathe in for 2, hold for 2, breathe out for 2, and hold for 2. So instead of it being that even breath in and breath out, we're going to breathe in quickly for the first half, hold it, breathe out quickly for the first half, and hold it. So it's going to breathe in Mississippi 2, Mississippi, hold Mississippi 2, Mississippi, out Mississippi 2, Mississippi, hold Mississippi 2, Mississippi. So again, it's breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. So continue that in your mind. Continue that nice and easy breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Continue that for about a minute. So again, as you can probably start to feel, different rhythms of breathing is more comfortable for you than others. So especially again, as we consider the other activities that we're doing, and we look at things like swimming, and we look at things like cycling, we look at things like running, especially swimming, when you're looking at the rhythm of your swim. So it's a reach and glide and pull and glide, and reach and glide and pull and glide. When we're looking through those, or even if you're a quicker turnaround swimmer, as a lot of triathletes are, when you're focusing on that reach and pull and out and reach and pull and reach and pull and reach and pull and reach and pull, again, depending upon what our rhythm is, we want to be able to start to match our breath to what we're actually doing in the pool. And as we're not able to be in the water for a lot of us right now, we want to really focus on thinking of our rhythm and trying to have a mental picture of what our swimming looks like. And we want to start to put this into practice where it's on the breath in, we're actually turning our head, taking a breath in, we're holding or breathing slowly out as our face is in the water, and then we're breathing out, and then we're breathing into the other side if you're a bilateral breather. And again, causing you to have a rhythm, really focusing on controlling with your diaphragm, controlling with your abdominal muscles, making sure that you're having even breath through the whole time. So as we continue to go through the in for 2, hold for 2, out for 2, hold for 2, I want you to now start to go in for 3, hold for 3, out for 3, hold for 3. So we're going to go in Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, hold Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, out Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, hold Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, in Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, hold 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, out Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi, hold Mississippi 2, 3, Mississippi. In, Mississippi, 2, Mississippi, 3, in, continue. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So controlling that breath the whole time where we're breathing in, we're holding, we're breathing out, and we're holding. Breathing in, we're holding, we're breathing out, and we're holding. Breathing in, breathing, and we're holding, breathing out, and we're holding. Again, continue that for about a minute. And now we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. So as we've started to go through this, we've gotten a lot more comfortable with where our diaphragm is. We've gotten more comfortable with the breath work that we're doing to stabilize and be able to really have 8 seconds that we're not breathing in, or we're not getting new oxygen. Really 12 seconds. And so I want you guys to really start to think about how long is it that you're going through with each one of those strokes, or how many strokes are you trying to go through before you take a new breath. So as we go from 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, hold Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, out, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, hold Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. We're going and we're trying again to get even breaths in, hold, even breaths out, and especially as we start to get to that breathing out at the beginning and breathing in at the beginning, a lot of us are going to panic for air, and we're going to try to take a huge breath in, and we're going to stimulate that fight or flight response. We're going to end up trying to panic breathe as opposed to control our breathing. So I want you to really focus on breathe in, Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So again, as we start to get more and more comfortable with this, it's not just building from the in 2, out 2, in 3, out 3, in 4, out 4, and then going through the in 2, hold 2, out 2, hold 2, and building. It's choosing what rhythm you want and really focusing on, I want to control my breath, I want to control my thoughts, I want to primarily focus on what is my breathing doing. And as we start to go through this and you get more and more comfortable with it, now is when you can start to focus on the stress reduction part of it even more, where you start to focus on something that's tripping you up, focus on something that's bothering you right now for the in part of the breath. So breathe in, focusing on something that you're a little bit more irritated with, and you hold on to that and you contemplate it for that 4 count, and then you breathe it away and you say, I'm done with this, I'm not going to think about it anymore. And if you can get that thought out of your mind and come up with a new thought, you can move through each thought with each side of the box while you're breathing. But if you're having a more difficult time with that, then you can go through and you can think about the thing that you're the most frustrated with or concerned with, and think about it on the breath in. And again, really focus on trying to just let it melt away, trying to not think about it, trying to let it go, trying to relinquish control over it, whatever that looks like for you. And again, the focus is to get all of the things that we don't have control out of our minds, and then to be able to come out of this breath work and be able to think only on the things that we actually have control over. So again, we're breathing in, thinking about the things that we don't have control over and we want to just let go. And then we breathe out and we let them go. Try to get rid of those things. Because again, this is not just to improve your diaphragmatic strength or your lung strength or really be able to control those breaths, but it's also, again, as I mentioned, to go from kind of a sympathetic breathing to a parasympathetic breathing and to just start to transition into a more relaxed, a more peaceful breathing. And again, if you spend 10 minutes of this time or time a day doing this breath work, that's going to put you in a position where you're a lot more controlled. You're going to feel like your body is going to start just kind of relaxing into the ground. You're going to feel like you can just let go of all those things again that you're not in control over. And then you get away from the breathing, you sit up. And again, we're going to sit, and we're not just going to get up and go about our day again. We're going to sit back up, and we're going to still focus on just really breathing. Because we've been in one position for a while, you might have a little bit of a head rush. So again, take good deep breaths. And that's why we're not just jumping up from laying on our back to walking away and getting back to the stress of our lives. But we're sitting here and we're thinking about the tension in our body. We're thinking about what are the areas in our life, what are the areas of tension that we can just, again, let out of our body. We're breathing in, thinking about one particular area, and we're breathing out, letting out. So for me, when I get really stressed, when I get really anxious and tense, all of my tension comes to the back of my head and down through my shoulders, and I end up in this awful position where my shoulders are up and forward and just like I want to punch somebody. And for this, it's getting me out of that position. It's getting me into a more comfortable position. If I need some support for my head, if I need support for my legs, all of those things are fine. All of this is, again, to focus on remembering where your diaphragm is, to control the breath for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and beyond if you're capable, to be able to breathe in fluidly and breathe out fluidly, and also to be able to control it so that when you hold your breath, you're not gasping or panicking for air, but you're actually in control the whole time. So let me know if you have any questions with this. Send me a comment, send me message me if you have any more questions with this. But again, this is one of the most important things that you can do right now is you're not able to get in the pool. You're not able to do some of the exercises and activities that you are familiar with. And this is a great way to, again, think about what the rhythm is of your swim, and even kind of put it on a metronome before you get into this and figure out what number of counts is it actually with the swim, and then try to match that with when you're laying on your back. As you start to get more and more comfortable with this as well, you can do some of this in other positions. So you can get into all four position, and again, start to breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Or you can do this in sitting, or you can do this in standing. Whatever that looks like for you, again, the focus is on getting rid of some of the stress, getting rid of some of the tension, and being able to control our diaphragm and our breath as much as possible. Hopefully this was beneficial. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts.